All right, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Where's my webcam? How we doing? How we feeling? Made it through the weekend. Got a fresh week. Right. Make sure everything is good to go. I ain't gonna lie, I had to pull myself out of bed this morning. The bed was feeling real good to me. Let me see. All right, let's get this show on the road. Got a little different format this morning. Let's go ahead and look at that pre-market insight. All right, so we don't have anything on the calendar today. Tomorrow, early, we have EIA short-term energy outlook. Wednesday, we have the core CPI and the crude oil inventories. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims and the job openings. And Friday, PPI and again, the U.S. federal budget. All right, so kind of a normal week. We got a couple interesting things popping out, but nothing huge going on with the economic outlook for this week. Let's go ahead and look at that power range report. For the NQ future sessions, we had a high of 12,761.25 with a low of 12,657. Time of this posting, we were trading bearish down negative 91% with a volume of 185K and 352.37 for the average true range. All right, so let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and switch on over to Sierra. All right, so what I'm starting doing is I'm gonna start looking at more things, more futures in the morning, kind of just doing like a little market pulse. This is something I actually used to do when I was just doing it on the website. This is how mv3trader.com started out. I would do like little morning reports and put it in the pre-market insight. So looking at NQ today, actually, let me open this up a little bit. You see we had this nice little sell-off overnight. We gapped up over the weekend and started selling off immediately. Down to the PR -3. Oh yeah, I forgot that the numbers are different over here. Yeah, so PR -3. It's just the power range, 3 levels down. Found support down there, and now we're retracing all of that, trading back up to the power range low. All right, so my strategy says to take the shorts. We'll see. Well, we are at a good location on the daily. I'm gonna have to pull this because I don't have a daily here. I don't want to switch it over. So we are at a good location on the daily to bounce and to start trading back higher. So I think today, depending on how we got enough of volume, it looks like we have some, the energy of the market is there. So today should be telling, could be depending on how today turns out, it could tell us if we're going to continue to trade lower or if that was just a market correction, the sell-off that we had last week. So it'll be interesting to see how today turns out. And I already know what my plan is for trading NQ today. All right, let's see. All right, so let's look at the other indexes real quick. It actually should just pop up. I'm just gonna draw. Okay, top. I'm just gonna draw the bearish side of the power range levels. Pretty much the same picture with the ES. And then with the Russell, had to gap up. And usually the market, the indices, they usually trade similar anyway, so I'm not expecting anything different. All right, so and this is YM. All right, so looking at gold out of all of these that I watch is the only one that's truly trading bearish. So what I'm looking at here is gold, crude oil, and the euro currency, which is more so neutral. So let's look at gold first. So we've kind of been just chopping around overnight with gold. Nothing. Oh wait, that was the wrong day. My bad. All right, so yeah, pretty much the same thing. Had a little bit of a gap. Bounced around bullish for a minute, and then before we retraced that in, now we're slightly bearish below the how did I draw that? I think I drew that messed up. Oh, wait, what is this? All right. Just bear with me. It's my first time going to do this. I don't know how I ended up drawing that crazy, but yeah, so pretty much traded down to PR -2. And we're just kind of taking a break right now. So crude oil. I used to trade crude oil. I think I pretty much stopped with that in 2018. And interestingly, didn't plot my power range. Oh, there it is. This took a minute. Pretty much the same story with crude. Yep, they gap up, consolidated for a while, and then we had a nice little sell-off. It's actually for crude. Well, I haven't watched crude in a while, but it seems like it's not. Crude is usually a little more volatile than this. All right, so not anything super exciting right there, but we are at a good location for a pullback on. If you look at the daily, so I would be expecting some more some more selling to take place, or at least to trade sideways with crude. And then last but not least, let's look at E6E or E6, depending on what platform you're looking at. It's EU6 for AMP futures. And pretty much the same thing. We gapped up over the weekend, consolidated pretty nicely within the power range. And then the sell-off, and now we're just kind of hanging out sideways. So we got, red across the market this morning, with the indices, kind of retracing most of their sell-off overnight in relation to the power range. So it should be interesting to see how this day turns out, how this week turns out actually. And same thing, oh no, we're trading down to some support on with 6E or E6. The reason I look at these is these are things that these were out of each sector. These were the main ones that I used to trade. For currencies, I also used to trade the Canadian dollar, as well as the British pound. And there was another one. I can't remember what it was. This is when I was trying to trade too many things at one time. So that is the market pulse, first iteration of it. Let's bring up NQ. Switch on over, get that pre-market insight. Pre-market snapshot. Get this snapshot for the journal. And today is the first day I'll be trading in the performance account, the new performance account. Should have been Friday, but multi-charts was, I don't know what was up with multi-charts on Friday. It was like this, I was having too many data issues. It was only with multi-charts. I'm at pre-market snapshot. Like eventually it just worked itself out. Less than a minute to the bell. So in terms of timing, that was it fit right in there. It's kind of perfect. Make sure I'm looking, go back over my checklist. So my goal right now is as always, pay attention to how I'm trading the strategy and make sure that the goal is to trade the strategy to perfection. Still got my other rules in place in terms of no trades after 10:15, and if I have a profit of $100 or more, then I'm done for the day. I'm gonna keep that in place. That seemed to work out pretty well when I was going through the evaluation. So until I build up some nice cushion in this performance account, that's what I'm gonna hold true to those rules. Make sure my phone is silenced. It should be anyway. All right, it opened on me while I was talking. In terms of resistance, I'm looking at the power range from 657 to pretty much 675. I'm just gonna watch it. I'm just gonna observe it. I'm not gonna try to speculate or predict what's gonna happen. Oh, and I forgot about my music. Finding some bounce at the previous pivot. Now we're trading right through that pivot, so here comes the sell-off. We are not surprised. see some volume at 536. Now I'm gonna see if we can get a pullback. We do have a little battle going on right now. Not too eager to take a breakout. Looking at, you know, the buying that's coming in right here. Overall, we definitely got mostly selling. Of course, we can see that overnight. All right, well, that was quick. Break even already has been triggered. The first target hasn't been hit. Make sure I get that snapshot. And that's a good way to start the week. Start the performance account. I'll put the details in that later. So pretty much what I did, I just looking at the volume profile, and then my level. I took the short on the micro pullback, and then the way that I have this thing set up, all my targets are within this range here. Actually, this looks like I got some old drawings sitting in here somewhere for some reason. I'll look at that later. Well, no, I can just let it play out. It's fine. Trying to see. I thought I erased all these drawings or removed these drawings. I'm gonna have to mess with this later. Multi-charts is definitely not Sierra chart. And that's it's not as smooth. I don't know if I just haven't found it yet, but there should just be a way that a button or something that I could click that just goes to the end of the chart. Give myself a little bit of room. That was too much. Still not enough. Right there. That's about a little over 75% of a retracement. I make my adjustments based off of structure. Now we got our point of control at 548. A little choppy. Let's see if the shorts can take it lower. Hoping they can take it lower. See, my last target is right at the top of this pivot right here. Now, based off the price action, I actually could have moved my break even to right above the high of this last 3-minute candle. Go to the Y scale and click reset scale. I'm going to try that. Appreciate that. Yeah. All right, so break even triggered. All right, so that's definitely put me at my 100 a day threshold. So that's my only trade for the day. So from here, I just get to have popcorn eyes and just visually trade it. Getting paid for 10 minutes of work, and it's never anything wrong with that, in my personal opinion. Of course, really, it was more than 10 minutes of work when you include the overnight, the stuff that I do the night before and in pre-market, and to set all of this up and get a feel of the market, get the pulse of the market. But for the clicking buttons part, it only took me 10 minutes to make a little bit of change. And the beauty of that is it's scalable. So that same move, I could have traded it with 12 contracts if I want to make, if the goal was to make more money. All I gotta do is, increase the amount of contracts, not look for a bigger, or increase the position size, not look for a bigger move. Let's switch back over to Sierra. All right, so we're trying to break the high of the open. Of the stock market open, or the New York Stock Exchange. Good morning, Mrs. Williams. Good morning, Dean. Fam is in the house. What it is, Origin. Seeing some resistance at the top of that range I mentioned earlier at 675. Looks like we're going to trade right through it. Also have volume sitting there. Oh, that's where volume drops off. Got a little bit of resistance to fight through. Gotta make a note of something. I'm gonna have to do it here. Multi-chart's doing that thing again where some of my options are grayed out for no, like my drawings are grayed out for no apparent reason whatsoever. It's like it gets stuck and it's just trying to catch up for some reason. So if I still was trading this, I am seeing some buying coming in, but overall we're still the trend is still slightly bearish, more so neutral at this point, with a wide range. But my strategy would, have me still looking for shorts if I was still trading this. That's based on the way that I use the power range. I use the plus minus one level to pretty much as areas of where the trend can reverse, a trend reversal. So looking at this price action right now, it would seem as if, we had this retracement pre-market was a little bit of profit taking. And then anyone who may have played this bullish pre-market also took some profit from that. So where we got the sell-off right here, the second attempt to short. Now we're just setting up for the second, for another position to take the market lower. Doesn't mean that has to happen, but that's just one way of looking at it. Yep. So if I was a short seller here, I would want this price to, be driven up as much as possible to get the best price that I possibly could, and then short it. That gives me more of a range, since we have all of this that we can trade into, because we know that we have some interest from other buyers and sellers here. Looks like we're continuing with the chop this week. That's been the pretty much the pulse of March. Let's see what ES is doing, just out of curiosity. Pretty much the same story. It doesn't seem as wild, of course, as NQ. It's a little more structurally sound. I still can't draw in multi-charts. That should be. Anyway, over here getting distracted by multi charts. So we're continuing in this bullish trend. Attempting to stair step its way higher. I hate to speculate, but I personally feel like we're at the buying is more likely at this point, looking at the bigger picture. I think we do have a little bit lower to go, but just looking at the price structure, buying makes sense down here. That's what I'm trying to say. Those that move the market, of course, they're trying to, get the trading so they can get the best price that they can possibly get to do what they're trying to do. So that's why we have this sell-off. We have these ranges. So now we're trying to trade lower. That's that looks, extremely bearish. Strong rejection to try to go higher. So if I was still trading, I would take this breakout, just looking at the price action and how that's set up. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I can trade in more than one account at a time. I don't want to forget about my regular trading account. And also, probably at some point, I may end up doing another Leeloo account. So I have more than one. Just trade more than one at a time. So I need to figure out what my plan is going to be to do that. And where did that window go? Right there. It'd be nice if I could come up with a way to where I'm just trading on one thing. Like let's say I'm just making all my trades on multi-charts, and then it copies my trades, in Sierra, or even vice versa. It'll work. But I can trade on one platform, and then it copies my trade on another platform. And then also, I didn't have time to do it over the weekend, but with multi-charts, there is a way that you can trade in multiple accounts at one time, and basically it just takes let's say I'm trading on this one screen, and it'll copy my trade to the other accounts that I have open in multi-charts. So I was supposed to look at that over the weekend, but I didn't have time. We got some nice some nice support here at the point of control at the VPOC. Still got some buying pressure sitting right there. Right, some definitely popcorn eyes at this point. Very choppy. Let me check on my silver. Got a silver option spread that I'm working. This may end up being a loser. Definitely trying to take the market lower. We have a lot to fight through. That's why we had this this battle zone, this wide battle zone here. The market created a lot of support in the pre-market. It's another reason why I'm glad I made mine early, so because I don't really, not a fan of trading these battle zones. Yeah. Got to remind myself to be water. Like that's the reason I named this stream the way that I did. Just kind of remembering the frequency that I was holding before. The last time I had a performance account, where I was kind of thinking a little too much and I was giving a little too much energy about the or on the P&L and you know the different goals or how Leeloo have their withdrawal rules structured and all of that stuff. Um, but for this one, definitely I don't want to get back into that state of mind. So, you know, I gave myself a reminder to just be water. In terms of what I mean by that is, only thing that I got to focus on is my strategy and making sure that I'm staying true to that. And in terms of how much money is made from that, or how many points or ticks that I get from the market every day, I just gotta let that be what it is. That's gonna take care of itself. I just need to focus on what I can control, which is myself and how I approach the market. And that's the mentality that I had to pass the evaluation phase both times. I wasn't worried about the P&L. I had the first time I had the strategy that I was working on and trying to, making tweaks, make it better, make it fit my trading style and what I was trading, the best that I could possibly make it. And that was the focus of the first evaluation phase, just to focus on the strategy, and that worked. Once I got the strategy, once I built the strategy to how I liked it, just focusing on the strategy, that got me to my goal. And then even for the second evaluation phase, I reminded myself of what I needed to do, and I only focused on the strategy and making sure I traded it perfectly and staying within my rules and all of that stuff. And yep, and as we can see, that worked out as well. Because let me change this music up. Take it back old school. Many that will call this a head and shoulders pattern. Working on the second shoulder. You can call that the right shoulder depending on what perspective you're looking at it from. It's not a head and shoulders yet. It looks like it wants to be. Well, you can kind of say this little spike right here is the other shoulder. You know what I just realized? I forgot to turn on the audio so that y'all can hear the music. Completely forgot about that. I wasn't even paying attention to that. I'm over here jamming to myself. I'm over here being selfish with my music. Alright, so there we go. In a way, it's a good thing because that means that I was focused on, on the trading. I was playing this one. All right, now it's done messed up. Let me see. No. I'm over here jamming too. Thinking I'm got it playing through like I'm supposed to, but it's not. care of a little bit of house cleaning. Still just chopping around with NQ. Let's go ahead and see what the rest of the market is doing. Pretty much the same thing with ES. Okay, I look at the Russell kind of like a baby NASDAQ. It has that volatile, like a lot of times it can be choppy. It can trade similar to NQ. And YM's the calmer one usually, a little more structurally sound. A nice little, almost looks like it's trying to lead the way. You can see, nice little bullish trend here. Check out gold. Gold still hanging around this range. Actually, I like that pattern right there. So it's more bearish than anything. Crude oil got some continuing its sell-off. Yeah. As expected. Got some retrace action going on. And then let's look at the euros. Nice and calm with the euros. Euros usually trade well in the European session, of course. Sometimes they could trade well, like at the 8 o'clock hour, or in the New York Stock Exchange hours, or even at 6. But most of the time, it's like between 3 and 6 when it really does its thing. That's its most consistent time frame. So I'm about to go ahead and close the shop up. I appreciate everybody coming through and trading with me, kicking it with me. Hope y'all have a good rest of the day. And I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Trade it easy.